Soroi looked at the lord of Jinhu City and the blood demon emperor speechlessly. These two were emperor-level experts after all. One was the lord of Yang Kingdom, and the other was also notorious in the South Universe Sea. Why were they acting like licking dogs at this moment? However, since the two of them are willing to follow him to guard the door together, Soroi will naturally not say anything. The Lord of Golden Amber City and the Blood Demon Emperor are stationed here all year round, so it will be much more convenient for him. Whoosh whoosh. In the void, the three people divided their labors among themselves and began to quickly integrate the Corpse Kingdom and the Nando Buddha Kingdom. The territories of the Lord of Jinhu City and the Blood Demon Emperor were near the Corpse Kingdom and the Nando Buddha Kingdom. With the two of them joining forces, there would be no obstacles to their integration. Initial universe. Naturally, Qin Chen didn't know what Soroi and the others were doing. He led everyone back to Renmeng City. In the Renmin League City, a group of strong men stood there excitedly. Seeing Qin Chen and others falling, they all came over excitedly. Chen. Master Chen. Chener. Everyone's faces were filled with excitement, and tears could not help but flow down. The leader was none other than Mr. Qin Badian. Grandpa. Qin Chen came to Mr. Qin Badian and directly took his hand. The old man's hand was extremely old and mottled, like tree roots. His aura was old, and his cultivation had reached the supreme level, territory. He patted the back of Qin Chen's hand, tears streaming down his face, and said repeatedly, "Okay, okay." He looked up at his grandson in front of him. The old man's eyes were full of care and concern. Back then, when Qin Chen established Chendi Pavilion and unified Renmengcheng, Mr. Qin Badian was also taken over from Tianwu Continent. With a large amount of resources, his cultivation level improved by leaps and bounds, and now he has reached the realm of Tianzun. However, Mr. Qin's talent is not that high after all, and he has missed the best age for cultivation. Although there are treasures of heaven and earth that can make him reborn and young again, as long as he continues to cultivate, it will be easy to break through to the supreme level, and he can even reach the transcendent realm. But Mr. Qin said that such precious treasures should be left to young people. It is extremely rare for an old man to reach this level of cultivation. If so many resources are wasted on him, he may be able to achieve several transcendental masters. So definitely don't use it. Everyone had no choice but to comply with the request of Mr. Qin Badian. After staying in the heaven for a period of time, Mr. Qin Badian returned to the Tianwu Continent, the land of the Five Kingdoms, and Daki. The Prince Wu's mansion. Now, after learning about Qin Chen's return from the underworld, he was picked up by a black slave. Sister Ying. Standing next to Mr. Qin Badian is Qin Ying. She has a smile on her face, a plump figure, and extremely amazing cultivation. She is even better than Mr. Qin. Generous and radiant. You kid. Qin Ying smiled slightly, revealing her teeth. Her lips were red and white, like a ripe peach, which was particularly charming. Qin Chen grinned. In front of Sister Ying, he would always be like the child who didn't grow up and needed to be worried about. Master Chen. Behind Qin Ying and Qin Badian, the black slaves came up with Wang Qiming, Zhang Ying, Di Tianyi and others. After practicing in the heaven for so long, Wang Qiming and the others had already reached the supreme realm and had extraordinary strength. However, seeing Qin Chen at this moment, they all felt a sense of trance, remembering that they came from the Five Kingdoms to fight together, broke into the Tianwu Continent, entered the martial domain, and ascended to the heaven. Now, Qin Chen has become the master of this initial universe. Looking back, all this is like a dream. Wang Qiming and the others now hold some positions in Renmeng City and Chendi Pavilion, managing the entire initial universe for Qin Chen. Not only them, there are many people who did not come because they were managing Chendi Pavilion and major ethnic groups in various parts of the original universe. Qin Chen took a glance and found that many familiar faces were indeed missing from the scene, such as Fu Chengqin, Mo Yuanbai, and even the Lord of Yuan Demon were not here. After seeing Qin Chen's gaze, Chen Shui suddenly laughed. "Chen, who are you looking for?" Qin Chen was stunned. "I'm not looking for anyone." "Really?" Chen Shui said with a half smile but not a smile. "Aren't you a little disappointed because you didn't see Princess Lingshan and Princess Zixin?" "Qin Chen. Chen Shui. Am I that kind of person?" Qin Chen said silently. "It's impossible to tell." Chen Shui laughed. "After all, I saw you guys come together during the Five Nations competition, and our relationship was extremely close. Who knows if anything happened?" Qin Chen. "By the way, besides Princess Lingshan and Princess Zixin, let me think about it, who else is there?" Chen Shui counted on her fingers. "Besides me and Cece, Wanner and Ruyu are also with us. Besides you, the girls who seem to have a crush on you include Saint Jiayi from the Bloodline Holy Land, Ouyang Nana from the Dan Pavilion, and after arriving in heaven, Miss Qin Tingting from the Ancient Bell Sect, Ao Qingling, and Li from the Soul Fire family. Miss Wan Shui, Miss Wei Xiqing, the Saint of Guanghan Palace, yes, and Piao. And Marong Bingyan, the Saint of Piaomiao Palace." Okay. Qin Chen hurriedly interrupted Qian Shui. His face turned green. "It's all nothing. In public, now that the initial universe has just transcended the cosmic sea, it will inevitably attract countless attention. We must quickly discuss a strategy. Senior Xiaoyao, let's go in quickly." Qin Chen couldn't wait to say to Xiaoyao Supreme. "Okay. Everyone, don't hang around here, let's go in first and talk later." Quote. Xiaoyao Supreme laughed. Although he didn't know what Qin Chen and Qian Shui were communicating, but looking at the teasing looks on both sides, he knew that the topic that could embarrass Qin Chen was definitely not a serious topic. Immediately, a group of people entered the People's Alliance city. "Sister Chen Shui, I really have you." Cece and the others followed Qin Chen, smiling and transmitting the message. Chen Shui shook her head and said, "I just don't want those confidants of Mr. Chen to be lonely all their lives. When they meet a man like Mr. Chen, they don't know it's them. Fortunately or unfortunately." Quote. Cece and the others were also silent. Sometimes, meeting a man who is too good is not a lucky thing. Once you meet someone, you will always make mistakes. The same is true for them. In the Renmeng city, everyone was divided. And sitting up. Qin Chen naturally sat at the top, and the ones he took action were Xiaoyao Supreme and He Nu. When Qin Chen was not around, Xiaoyao Supreme managed the Renmeng city and the various tribes, which was a veritable management of the original universe. Or, in fact, before Qin Chen's rise, it was Xiaoyao Supreme who maintained the heaven and the human race, and guarded everything under the invasion of ancestor Yuan Mo. While He Nu managed Chendi Pavilion, and Qin Chen was no longer in Chendi. Qin Chen, now that the initial universe has been unified, Renmeng City was built to fight against the Yuan demon ancestor. There should be no need to exist now. Should we let it go? Chendi Pavilion manages the entire initial universe. Quote. Xiaoyao Supreme suggested. Beside him, powerful men such as Tianji Pavilion Master, Sword Ancestor, Chaos Supreme, Wuji Supreme, Divine Worker Supreme, Shadow Supreme, etc. all looked over. They were all leaders of the former Human League city, but now that the original universe has been unified, and the crisis in the demon world and the underworld has been resolved, there is probably no need for the existence of Renmengcheng. Qin Chen founded Chendi Pavilion, and now Qin Chen has become the master of the original universe. This initial universe should naturally be controlled by Chendi Pavilion. Qin Chen thought for a while and said in a deep voice, "There is indeed no need for Renmeng City to exist now, but the initial universe cannot be completely managed by Chendi Pavilion." Quote. Everyone looked over in confusion. Qin Chen said seriously, "Absolute power leads to absolute corruption. The initial universe I hope is a place that can accommodate all rivers and all creatures and races, not just a private place in Chendi Pavilion. In that case, what's the difference between him and Ancestor Abyssal Demon? So, in the future initial universe, I hope to establish an alliance of all races, an alliance of all races that is separate from Chendi Pavilion. The two organizations will stand side by side, each in charge of one side." Quote. Everyone was silent after hearing this. No one thought that Qin Chen would make such a suggestion. "Senior Xiaoyao, you will still be in charge of the alliance of 10,000 races from now on." Qin Chen looked at Xiaoyao Supreme. "Me." Quote. Xiaoyao Zhijun waved his hands hurriedly. "No, no, no. I firmly don't do it." Quote. Everyone was stunned. What does Senior Xiaoyao mean? Qin Chen, I stayed in the original universe before that year because I wanted to fight against the Yuan demon ancestor. Otherwise, I would have been like that old guy Tianji and entered the universe early. The sea has gone, and now the crisis in the initial universe has been completely resolved. Next, Yao Yu and I will go to the Sea of Universe to practice, so there is not much time management at all. Quote. Seeing everyone's confused looks, Xiaoyao Supreme hurriedly explained. Damn it, let me continue to be the nanny of this initial universe. I don't want to do this job. By the way, you can let the master of Tianji Pavilion or the Sword Ancestor do it. As if he felt that it was not good to refuse like this, Xiaoyao Zhijun quickly added. Forget it, we can't do it either. The master of Tianji Pavilion and Sword Ancestor also waved their hands hastily. Qin Chen, it's not that we are unwilling to take the position, but that we are not qualified to take the position. It has been Xiaoyao Supreme who has been supporting the initial universe for so many years. If we are allowed to take charge of this alliance of 10,000 races, what will happen to us? Where is the Supreme being placed? Quote. Master Chen, if they are not willing, why not let me be the leader of the alliance? My old dragon will definitely manage the initial universe for you. At this time, the ancestor dragon jumped out and said proudly. Before he could finish his words, he was hit hard on the head by the true dragon ancestor. Shut up. Quote. This guy can't even manage the true dragon clan, and he still wants to manage the initial universe. Qin Chen looked at Xiaoyao Supreme and said sincerely, Senior, there is no need to shirk this matter, it's settled. Xiaoyao Zhijun.